Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
I like watching. For some reason, my algorithm just thinks I'm absolutely obsessed with Roy Keane, which I mean I am to a degree, but not as much as it thinks I am.
No.
It's always him talking about Ferguson and everything, and talking about how he doesn't respect him and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just so obviously like a delusion at this point.
100%. I mean, because the thing is, like, Ferguson, like, you know, whatever you think him as a guy, and I'm sure he had to be a bit of a bastard
I think he was a
at the time.
bastard,
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, his record speaks for itself. Whereas Roy Keane was basically just one of the guys that he replaced in, you know, in developing a few different teams. And I just think, like...
You'd think of all people Roy Keane would understand that, no?
100%. But the thing is, the thing that makes Roy Keane pure toxic and why he failed as a manager, basically, right? Just because of his, like, destructive criticism of others and, like, just his pure... You know, just all his negativity and he's just, like, bitterness and all that kind of stuff. That thing that makes him so bad as a manager is what makes him absolute fucking box office
TV gold.
as a presenter. Like, he's so good, man.
Spitting feathers the whole time.
No, it's and actually fair play. It's good because, like, you do quite enjoy, like, tuning in for Neville, Carragher, Keane.
Yeah.
You know, they're all good, man.
It can't just be a team of Mika Richards smiling at each other.
No,
Have
just
a
dancing with the
bit of
Man
needle
City
in there.
players.
Yeah.
Hate Rio.
You know, a big Rio
fucking
fan.
thick, I think.
I see. I've not watched a lot because he's BT, isn't he?
Yeah.
So the Champions League. I've not watched too much of Rio. I must admit.
I'm illegally streaming Rio and I'm still feeling shortchanged.
just from basically from a bitter Scotland point of view, the Euros when he was like, we should walk all over them 4-0 and all that shit, or 3-0.
We were shit.
But
in general,
terrible,
but we were
but
good, decent.
But as a pundit, you've got to be.
I know. Rio's one of these guys as well. He's always like trying to become something else. Like, remember, he's trying to be a boxer, and then he's done like rapping and all that before, and you're just like, mate, just like
did a fucking prank show.
Did he?
Yeah, he merked. It's during the World Cup. It's fucking funny. It's on YouTube. There's a great one of Gary Neville comes out of it so well.
Oh, aye.
Where it's like a prank where Rio's set it up to merc Neville by
What does that mean, Merc?
It means it's like you got merked. It means like I think it's like a London thing. It means
Right.
it's like punked.
Aye.
But basically, it's something about like it's like a driving offence for Neville, but the guy who's giving him the tickets like, I'll write it off if you take a photo with me or something like that. And Neville's like, no, I'll take the points. And he's just like, I'm not having a photo with you. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. I'll take the points, my license, all that. And he comes across really sound, I think. It's cool.
Living up to his Twitter persona.
Yeah.
Why would they not
Sound
want
guy.
to take a picture?
Just out of principle. He's a principled man, Gary
Yes,
Neville.
aye.
I would take a picture with somebody.
Oh, so would I, but I'm not Gary Neville.
To get out of a ticket.
Well, just in general, if someone was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" Aye.
You're
And
not getting asked for as many pictures as Gary Neville is.
Oh no, I don't get asked for any pictures. That's why I probably like the idea of it. But like, no, like if someone was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" Aye, and also I'll take points off your license. Cool, that's just a bonus.
Yeah. There's one where David Beckham looks cool in it as well because the chauffeur's like driving him around the houses and he's really late for something.
Mm-hmm.
And Beckham like gets out of the car on the motorway and just like runs to where it needs to be basically.
Oh my god.
It's quite good actually. That's one of the best things Rio Ferdinand's done in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Well, here's me doubting him for branching out into other avenues.
Shit boxing career though.
Yeah, shit boxing career.
Would you rate him as a player?
He's a good player, yeah.
Anyway, right, let's
Know
actually
what
start.
we're here to talk about.
No, I think what's now becoming a bit of a tradition here is that we start off by just basically name dropping celebrities that we've bumped into. It's about 4 episodes in a row now that we've done that
We're
effectively.
brushing shoulders with celebs. We've got to be talking about
What
it.
can I say?
That's our
from
lives
Jesper.
now, guys.
Aye, basically. Hi, Robert and Jesper. You met the guy that always used to come to our shows and then
Yeah.
turned up at yours the other
Yeah, I
night.
got a picture with me last night. That was this Gary Neville.
Did
Did you get points off your license?
did they say anything to you while he was getting the picture? Did they
Yeah, it was very complimentary.
just about your set and stuff?
Yeah.
Aye.
It's funny to see him.
Aye,
Because
no,
the last time I
that's-
saw him was at that gig we did in Mango, remember?
Yeah, years
And you were
ago.
like, how do you find out about these things?
Because he was at Drygate. So basically, this is a guy who used to just always go to Yes Bar and watch the comedy show on his
Always
own.
sat in the front row.
On his own.
Stage left.
Wee glass of wine.
Wee glass of red wine.
and
laughing at setups, laughing at
he'd
everything.
kind
That's
of
what you
like
want.
he'd kind of fuck up the flow of the night sometimes.
Yeah.
Or he
He
actually
was good as
wouldn't
gold
he?
last night.
That's good
I
to
did a
know.
full hour and he never said shit.
The only
Did he
time
laugh?
he would,
Yeah.
In all the right places
All the right places.
and the wrong places.
And the wrong places.
the main time that he would really cause bother is just when you actually tried to have an interaction with him, and then he would just never get in.
He was a wild card.
He was a wild card, so
Yeah.
you just leave him alone, and most of the time he's fine. But he's good,
He's just there to enjoy his night.
He's a comedy fan, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like going to the main. He's never been to the stand, as far as I know.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
only goes
The
to like
niche stuff.
the kind of niche, gigs and pubs or fucking breweries or something.
Well, that place we done at Mango isn't even a venue
It's a
for
nightclub.
comedy. It's a nightclub. It's a Spanish nightclub in Sucky Hall Street.
Last night it was a rock bar I was in.
Yeah, and he's just there
Yeah.
in the
You
shadows.
never know where he's going to turn up. I love him, man.
He must just follow one of us on
He's
fucking.
probably a listener.
Aye,
Yeah.
Robert,
Shout
if you're
out.
listening, shout out.
Get on the show.
Legend. Keep
Much
coming. Keep
appreciated.
supporting live
Aye,
comedy.
come on
Someone's
the
got to.
thing. But yeah, so I had someone in watching my gig the other night, right? It's down in Glasgow, and I was just opening, and just before I was about to go on, David, who is like one of the managers there, says to me, "Oh, by the way, you get somebody famous in tonight," and I'm like,
Other than me.
so I know I'm opening the show, mate. No. He's like, "You get someone famous in tonight?" I was like, "Who?" He's like, "Lewis Capaldi's in." I'm
That's
like,
a big deal.
Aye, I'm like, no way.
He's
Like,
pulling a lot of focus, surely.
Yeah.
Well-
That would be distracting.
Yeah.
the thing is, I only found out when the show had already started. So he was up. He's like, he's up the back and all that. So he was up the back, and you could feel there was an energy in the room of like people were hyped up. People were hyped up, and more so than you normally get on a Friday. And I think that might have been it. But obviously, when that happens, then all of a sudden I've got that knowledge.
Yeah.
And now I go for just kind of
You're
a
in the back
standard
of your
Friday
head.
night. Now I'm going, I need to impress him.
So we've already heard Steve wondering what James Acaster would like to hear from him on stage.
Yes.
Were you doing your most Capaldi friendly material?
Went
All
out,
your heartbreak stuff.
opening joke, fucking two-footed Jerry Cinnamon a belter. But there you go, Cinnamon, take that. Could hear a big laugh for his side of the room. I'm like, got them on board. No, no, I just did my stuff, and like I think the one thing I did do is I went in too heavy early to try and
Assert
to
yourself.
try and assert myself, and then I realised and I could feel the audience a bit like, because also when you're opening, what you forget is that it is hard sometimes, and
Yeah.
you need to kind of warm them up.
Yeah.
So I just kind of took my foot off the gas a wee bit, just relaxed into it, and then I had a good one. And so obviously it's weird because afterwards, you kind of would want to bump into him. He's not going to come backstage. Do you know what I mean? And like introduce
They will.
himself.
Robert did. not even kidding.
Well, not
Was he
everyone.
invited back, or did they
Just walks into the green room.
Because you have
Hey,
to
Robert.
go through the stage to go to the green room. Did he walk
No,
on?
he came in the other door.
Oh, the other door, which is like
Which-
a
it literally
manager's
says
office.
staff only on it.
Yeah.
He's staff in a way.
Yeah.
Well, not obviously. Lewis Capaldi doesn't have the showbiz balls
The
of,
fucking stones of that.
of random Robert for the fucking greatest card days. But I was kind of like, oh, hopefully I'm maybe get bump into him. So that I was actually planning on leaving. I kicked about. But also you don't want to be a pure pest and all, right?
Yeah.
So I just kind of hang about the bar, and then I just thought, okay, maybe I'll see him at the end, and I'll just sort of say, oh, how you do? I hope you enjoyed the show or something. But then I just went in the bathroom during the last act, and as I'm washing my hands, door opens and he walks in, and like Zach Collins kind of go alright, and he's like alright, and then because obviously I must be used to just everybody saying
Say
hi,
alright.
and then he goes like, alright. Oh, it's you! Like, and I was like, I know, it's you. And I was just like, oh, big fan. And he's like, oh, same, it was good set, kind of thing. And then for some reason, I don't know why I'd done this, and I just was like, oh, like, you know my mate Paul Dock? Like, I just said that I knew Paul. I don't know why I said that. Sorry, Paul. I think it was pure cringe. And then I was kind of like, I'll let you a pish anyway, and just left it. And I felt, I kind of regret saying anything about Paul, but I left it.
Did they
and
say that he did know him, or did they?
no, he was kind of like, oh, aye, like that. And then I was just like, I'll let you a pish, like, and that was it. And then I think they just fucked off after that. And then, so it was good. So I was quite glad that I got that nice interaction with him organically. And was hoping for a fallback, never got it, but hey, listen,
time to an appeal.
you know,
Yeah.
I think he's taking a
Yeah,
break,
listen.
trying to work on his new album. He's probably taking a break for social media, I'm sure.
I think it is actually.
Sure, the first thing he'll do when he gets back online is
Aye.
be
Maybe write a song about it.
at Marchenko. I thought, aye, I know he's going to fucking diss me.
But also because he's known it for his sort of comedy, like in social media, and
He's funnier than most
he's got big
comedians.
personalities. He is a really funny, genuinely funny guy
Aye.
from what I've seen.
That thing with Noel Gallagher, it was fucking hilarious, man. Like,
Yeah.
that was great.
That's right. Yeah.
And he is now, he's a really funny guy, so that is a bit of pressure because you're going like that. Fucking...
I also think the audience would be looking at him,
Yeah.
going, "I wonder if he's finding this funny because he's funny."
Well, there must have been a lot of that happening that I wasn't aware of because obviously you can't really see much of the crowd when you're on stage. And I was backstage at the breaks and stuff, so I think people were asking for pictures and stuff like during the break, but it seemed like he relatively was kind of being able to just mind his own business and nobody was pestering him too much. Like, wasn't as if you seen the entire crowd going up to his corner or something.
Yeah.
But
Must be tough for him though, because he's a lot more approachable than most as well. Like, compared to like Steve Coogan, they were talking about.
aye,
He's
because
like
you
the
just think he's
opposite
a,
Steve Coogan.
just a guy for here. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he seemed very nice, and it was nice of him to kind of say, so it was cool. I was glad I got that because it'd have been weird almost if I didn't see him, and I was like, I probably thought I was shite or whatever. I mean, maybe I did, I don't know, but it was nice to meet him anyway. Nice guy, Lewis. If you're listening,
Shout out.
watching, shout out. Alright guys, Mark here, just editing this week's episode of the podcast currently, and as you've probably noticed, the audio does drop out after a couple of minutes into this one. I'm afraid that's the case for the rest of the episode again. It was an issue, I think, with the storage on the recorder we were using, so apologies about that. It was only Stuart's audio that kept up for some reason, but it just sounded weird, so we've ended up just using the camera audio again. So apologies again about the audio quality for this one. It was a really fun one still, so I think you'll enjoy it despite that, but apologies, and we have looked into a few of the issues that we've had and basically shouldn't happen again, so can only apologise for that, and just obviously acknowledging that if you're out and about it might be a bit quieter or whatever, or just sound a bit worse than the usual high standards that you expect from the Summer podcast, except from episode 4, which we also fucked up. But while I'm here, just to say from all three of us, a massive thank you to everybody who's been downloading or watching on YouTube, or has just followed us on the socials, been sharing the clips or the rest of it. We really appreciate it. The numbers we're absolutely buzzing about. It's growing every day and every week and all that stuff, and we're really excited to see where it can go. So thank you so much for listening and all the rest of it, and we're really glad to see that people are enjoying listening to us talk shite every week. So thanks so much for that, guys, and just keep enjoying the episodes basically, and we've got plenty more to give. So again, thanks very much, and again, apologies about the fucking shite audio for this week's one, but enjoy the rest of the episode.
Have you ever had a celebrity? When you've been gigging?
Not as big as that. I don't
No.
think there's been some folk.
The only other time I've had it was I'm pretty sure what do you call him? Who's the boxer that's got the son that's a boxer and all?
Chris Eubank.
Chris Eubank Jr. seen me dyeing my arse in Brighton.
Did he come up to you after the show?
No, I just
In the
I
toilet?
slunk it, man. Slunk it.
At least there wasn't both of the Chris Eubanks.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
Maybe it was in me as dad and people just liked him more, I don't know.
Chris Eubank also funnier than most stand-ups.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
yes.
Even just him, the one on Gogglebox was like, "Would you like a sweetie?"
I would watch his
Love
Netflix
that.
special in a heartbeat, man.
Definitely.
He's a mad fucker. Have you seen his Louis Theroux one?
No,
Interesting viewing.
is it?
So he doesn't come across all that well in it.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
just
from
a
back in the day.
Tory guy?
I think there's a wee bit of that, but there's also like quite a lot of weird shit with like his relationships with like his wife and women and stuff like that.
Why?
It's not great. But he's also a hell of a character.
Oh, aye, 100%.
Boxers don't usually come across that well in life, do they?
Well, get punched in the head for a living.
Yeah, people will get fucking paid to get punched in the head and also punch other people in the head.
Yeah. Who have you had? Any famous people?
I had, well, I don't know if I've said this already in the podcast, but I had the owner of Old El Paso fajita kits.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't think we've spoke. I think if we spoke about it, it was in the unreleased episodes. So
Was it?
I don't think we have spoken about this.
No.
Basically, I've got, if you've never seen my stand-up,
if you've been living under a bloody rock.
Yeah, exactly. Go on YouTube.com, type in Stevie B. Because if you type in Stephen Buchanan, there's actually a paedophile called Stephen
Really?
Buchanan who was caught on a show called How to Catch a Predator.
Oh my god.
Same spelling and everything.
Is that American show?
Yeah.
They
it's
turn
like,
up like a case of beer and everything. And then
yeah,
they get,
it's
oh,
like,
God,
and
I've
then
seen
the
that.
guy's got like fucking like knives in his boot of his car and like rope and shit like that, and he's like, no, I wasn't here to
Yeah.
kill the girl.
There's a perfectly reasonable explanation that I'm bringing a case of beer to this 14-year-old girl's house.
Steve, you're really wondering why you're attracting the wrong kind of crowd at the fringe, like
Aye.
people turning up with placards like, Buchanan is
Kill
innocent.
this beast.
I've honestly had on YouTube videos people commenting going, oh, he's turned his career around. I think they're doing it for a laugh, but if you type in Stephen Buchanan and you go into Google Images, it's like me and this fucking beast, and it looks like a before and after. We look quite similar. It's quite strange.
Well, questions will be asked. We've not done our due diligence before we've managed to hire you as a host here, Stevie.
No, but if you, like, even if you Google it, it's like Stephen Buchanan. It comes up like Predator, then comedian second. I'm wanting to get above the Predator.
People might just think that's the same guy, judging on a lot of the comedians in the community. Fucking hell.
That's my career goals. But so I've got an old bit about doing like old El Paso fajitas.
Classic bit, signature bit, I would say.
Signature bit. And I was doing it in London one time. In the second row I was doing this bit. This girl was
The
like,
whole bit is you slagging off Old El Paso.
I hate
Fajita.
Old El Paso fajita because that's the crux of it. I don't like them. I think they're a waste of money.
Well, I don't know if you want to ruin the bit, but the main thing of the bit for me, when you talk about the old El Paso Vita kits, is like, you're saying it's like just add, and then it's all these ingredients.
Just add chicken, peppers, and onion, cheese, guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, plane ticket to Mexico, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I'm like going through all this, and then this is
Because they just give you, what is it they give you?
You get the tortilla wraps.
you get wraps, you get this
wee bit of shit salsa.
minging salsa, watery salsa,
I never fucking had that.
and then a wee spicy dust sachet of
Yeah.
flavouring, which is nice. The flavouring's good, but the rest is like
It's a fucking ripper. It's got
It's
a
a
cumulative value of about 40p.
Yeah.
Box, not like £2.
Yeah.
yeah, because you can actually buy the individual items, and it's cheaper than the box.
It's a racket.
That's insane. That's not economies of scale whatsoever. That's just putting
Especially
paying
these
for the
days,
box.
you know, prices rising.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cost of living.
One of the first things that's got to go, surely, the old El Paso.
Yeah, you would think, but people
People-
like
It's
it.
economy.
People are having to resort to making fajitas by hand.
People like that shit. Anyway, so I was slagging this off in my set in London on a boat, and this guy.
You're never off that fucking boat, man.
That's the only place in London that a guy can make a boat show. In the second row, this woman was like elbowing a guy, and I looked pure posh, man, blazer and all that. And I was like, it was distracting, so I was like, what's going on here? And she was like, it's him. And I was like, what? And she was like pointing at the guy, and I was like, who the fuck? I've never seen this guy before. And it's like, he's the guy who owns Old El Paso fajita kits. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he's the general manager or like the CEO or some shit of General Mills, which is the company who own Old El Paso, and his department is Old El Paso fajita kits. So I had Mr. El Paso in my audience.
You had old
Old
Del
Del.
Paso.
I had Old El Paso in. And I knew
How did he take it?
he was raging.
Was he?
He was trying to not come across like that. He was like, oh, come on, you can't. Oh, don't call it spicy dust, it's magical powder, mate. And just, everyone's like, shut the fuck
Shut
up.
up,
Yeah.
wank.
I was there that night.
You were in the
I
audience.
was in the back of the room because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because
Because you were gigging elsewhere and you came.
I came along, so I was watching it, and it's just one of those ones as well. Like, it's only in London that you get people with they type of jobs. You're never meeting the CEO of fucking Cadbury's or something, and you know, at the Glasgow stand. But
Mr.
you know,
Iron Brew in
Aye.
the Glee, Glasgow.
you go anywhere. Oh, see, I mean, I did obviously have Lewis Capaldi in there, but like, you know, you do that is just so par for the course in London that you've always got like CEOs and all these tech people, and you know, I've had like people that work like are all like newscasters and stuff in, and like that you just do meet these people all the time.
Yeah.
And like, you know, if you'd had a different take on Old El Paso Vita kits, We could be looking at the new face of Old El Paso. He could have liked you.
Big sponsorship deal with this podcast.
Aye.
Yeah, sitting here with a sombrero on the whole time. I love fajita kits, man.
What did he say to you afterwards again, though?
So he like summoned me into the next room. Remember, like he was like, "Oh, did someone come up
On
to
a
me?"
boat because of the implication.
One of the people who worked on the boat at the boat show like came up to me and was like, "Oh, that guy wants to speak to you." So he'd like summoned me into like the next wee bar bit, and I walked in, and he
Just imagine it like you walking into this room that's like candlelit.
just all his consiglieres there, everyone waiting to batter fucking. Got a bag over my head. Put a wee wrap over my head.
Spray with spicy dust.
Drag me out, and he was just like trying to have a bit of back and forth, and you could tell that he was raging, but he was like, "Oh, I could get you sued" and all that sort of stuff, like kind of low key going, "Stop talking shit."
He's like, I can get you sued, mate, for calling it a fucking theatre.
False advertising, you know. And then he was like, I was like, "Oh, let's get a picture anyway." And he took a picture of me. I'll put it up here. I've got the picture.
We can find him like we tried to find Victor the other week.
No, please don't, because I'm talking even more shit about.
Is there anyone that you've
Actually
not
got
met?
this,
On,
yeah.
Is there anyone you've not met on a boat that you don't have a picture with that you want to find?
That's why he gigs at the boat show so much. His mum won it in a tombola.
Steve, you were doing a outdoor show this weekend.
Yes.
Kidding on, it's still COVID times.
Yeah, well that's why it was there, because you done it last year.
Yeah.
Laugh in the Park, Queen's Park, Amphitheatre.
It was the first gig I done back after COVID in real life. So
Yeah.
it was.
And that was this time last year, so things were just starting to get back. You could do outdoor gigs, you couldn't really do indoor gigs yet.
It was
but-
just starting to come back, but you couldn't do it in the social, like there wasn't social distance. So
Yeah.
I was certainly like a kind of the novelty of just getting everybody back and getting that amount of people together. It kind of had to be outside at that time.
Yeah. And it was one of my first gigs back. It wasn't my first one, but one of the first ones back. And I didn't enjoy it last year.
Aye.
You
I loved it because I was really worried. I hadn't done stand up in a year and a half.
Yeah.
First gig back is outside, which is notoriously,
Nightmare.
you know,
Shite.
everyone knows it's always, you know.
The laughter disappears.
Yeah, comedy is really hard for it to work outdoors. But I done it and no, it was great. Like it's that Queen's Park place to be amphitheatre. It's
really
actually
cool.
cracking
Yeah.
and it was busy and
Had a wee
it was a
bar
great
and
night.
all that. It was really cool. Big screen
Brilliant.
behind you with your name on it.
How many
Yeah.
punters are we talking?
400 or 500.
I think it was like 500, I would say.
500,
Aye. No, it was
yeah.
really good.
So it was good. Last year I didn't enjoy it. I think I was opening last year and I was just pure nervous because it's one of my first gigs back and I was
Aye.
like not feeling it. But this year I loved it. I thought it was great and I'm glad because I was kind of like not looking forward to it again. This
Aye.
year I thought it could be the same. But this year I thought it was great. I loved it. The audience were brilliant. So I'm glad that I came back for redemption.
That's good. I felt like that when I done the Barrowlands actually, because the
Oh,
first time we done it, I didn't have a good one, and then so obviously we done it again in 2019.
You won the
I won
competition.
the competition and no, I had a good one, but it was nice just to have a good gig in that room, you know,
Aye.
because
Well,
like
we all done the Barras that first year, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
you had a good one that night though as well.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah. It was weird because it was like fun for what it was. I don't see if you look back, it probably wouldn't have been amazing in
I
terms
don't
of
think if you were
response.
on stage. Yeah, I don't remember it feeling fucking electric.
Yeah,
No,
but
But
it just
it's, like,
felt
good.
cool being
It was cool.
on that stage and in
Yeah.
that venue.
Barrowlands isn't really a comedy venue. Like,
No.
that's why they really ever have it in there,
Yeah.
because it's like, you know, obviously for everybody's seating and all that sort of stuff, you can get maybe 500 folk in, and even then the whole point I think of how good a room that is when it's music and everybody's all bashed up together, and it's
Yeah.
like when Oasis or some shit like that were on, and you know whoever else now, Joseph, he's
Yeah.
the guy who does
That's
Barrowlands down here. I don't know anything about him, but
Raymond Mearns was saying that he supported the Libertines or people
No
like
way.
that when they were in the Paris. He went on and done
No,
a
when I
set.
saw
we need to get
Libertines
Raymond on the
about
podcast, man. Raymond, we're going to get in touch soon because
What a guy.
And he was just like, he was like fucking shooting up and I was just talking shit to the audience.
Raymond's the act you want on comparing if you were trying to do heroin backstage. He can fill time.
Yeah.
When was that? Do you know? Was
He
it like
told me
back
that.
in the day?
I think it would have been years
Because
ago.
we both saw the Libertines a couple of years ago, and I don't remember Raymond.
No,
being-
he wasn't. This was years ago he was talking. But he told me it like last year, I'm sure.
That's one of a number of stories in the Ask Raymond
Yeah.
if and when he comes on the podcast.
Yeah.
So have you done any outdoor gigs, Stu?
I was trying to think about this. I don't think I have, but I also feel like I must have, but maybe I've blanked it out.
I
You were
don't see
booked
how I
to
could-
do one where you're not.
I can't remember what happened.
And
Must
it
have
got
been busy or
cancelled.
something. Yeah, I got pulled or something, which I was obviously thrilled about.
Because that was like a cinema, outdoor cinema, and you had to do
yeah.
comedy at it.
Yeah,
And
I
then
bet
they
that
got-
would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been terrible.
I can't remember what
Is
the
that
film
what you
was.
done though? At Pollock Park?
I had done a gig at Pollock Park. That was like the last outdoor one I done. It was like on the way back for. I was also on my way back for the Fringe that day, and like, on my way back to
aye.
Glasgow, I stopped in Pollock Park to do that gig.
That's right. How was it?
I was alright, you know. It was like, you know, just a couple of people sitting in a field and you're telling jokes, but it was fine. I think because I'd done a lot of those like ones in car parks and all that shit, like during COVID, you know, it was fine. And I'd just done like a week at the Fringe, so it was kind of just in match fit.
Yeah.
And done it, but yeah, those ones during the, you know, every comedian spoke about this, like the car park gigs and stuff like that, but they were definitely weird.
I never did any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was just like, you know, it was the gigs that were on offer at that time. Do you know what I mean?
I refused to do the car park
Yeah,
ones,
me
like
too.
doing it to cars.
Yeah, well, I done a few of them. It was better actually, you know, when they let you when they would honk your
If
horns.
they're horny.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was that, I don't know, but basically, if, like there were many honk on where they, you know, laughed,
Yeah.
which, you know, actually was good, even though it sounds like that would just be a heckle. It was good because you got some kind of response, which is really what you need in stand
Doing
up.
it to silence is just murder, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I did do a couple where they said, right, or you're not allowed to use your horns because of the neighbours and stuff like that, so I just had to go in and they would flash the lights. But again, it's just like a weird thing. And then, but weirdly, you would see like, you know, see your big laughs, your jokes that normally get big laughs. You would
Full
see a
beam.
correspondence in like the level of lights that you'd get versus ones, you know, you just get a couple of wee flickers here and there for the sort of, you know, the offshoot
So
jokes.
you know if you're dying in your arse or not.
Yeah, you still know.
I don't want that.
No.
I would rather, it's like Schrodinger's cat. I would rather not know.
Well, that's the good thing about the Zoom gigs they would do where they wouldn't let you see the audience or
Yeah,
something. So
yeah.
you basically just had to talk. You were just doing like a fucking vlog or something like that for half an hour.
Well, I done that the Zoom gig. They didn't put their cameras or
Yeah.
mics on,
Mm-hmm.
which meant you had zero fucking. Because sometimes they never had their
You don't
mics
even know
on.
if the
but-
internet's fucking cut out.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just talking. You're practicing essentially. You're doing a vlog or you're practicing your set. You
Basically.
can read it off the screen.
Aye. No, that was the good thing about those ones where I was like, sometimes the Zoom ones were alright and you get a bit of feedback as well, but again, just it doesn't, you know, it's a pale limitation of like really being in a room live with people, isn't it?
And there's also sometimes there's a delay from like Zoom connection, so you know that you have to wait a wee second, and if you're waiting and the laugh still doesn't come, you're like,
fucking desperate.
yeah, this is
Aye, that's
even worse.
Aye.
You're never more aware of like the rhythms of stand up than when you're in a situation like that where there's just no feedback. It sounds fucking insane.
Oh, aye, 100%.
Yeah.
If there's no laughs, it sounds mad.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like because I was doing Edinburgh stand on Thursday, and I was just walking through the building, and as I'd done it, I just thought, how mad is it that I forgot that like I had to at one point come here and do a gig into a camera with no audience in here.
Yeah.
It was insane, and now we're just back to normal as if that all never happened. You're like, it just is fucking mental, and like I feel like that way with the whole pandemic. It's like just, you know, as soon as you just get back to the way a normal life, it just you just forget that there was this interlude of like 2 years where
Yeah.
everything you just couldn't do all these things that you know take for granted again.
Yeah.
You're so used to stuff so quickly as well, like you kind of forget.
Aye.
Like from that first lockdown, you forget how scary a lot of it was, and like how new and weird everything was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just really erased the corners of it.
I was so glad though that the Fringe got cancelled that first year. The relief I felt from that.
Yeah.
I
me
didn't
too.
have a show prepared really. I had
Now look at
stuff
you.
now look at me.
2022, just come in the car. Steve's wondering what the fuck he's gonna do for the show next week.
You're still doing a work in progress in August this year.
But I'm doing
3 years.
That's true.
Yeah.
Stu, you were on kind of unofficial uncle duties at the weekend.
Yeah, I was hanging around with my friend of the show, Chris KC, stand up, who is not doing stand up anymore because he has 2 kids now. He's got a proper life. So yeah, I was taking his kid out.
2 now? Is it?
Yeah, he's got a little daughter now as well. But
Brilliant.
me, him, and the lad went to the Burrell collection on Saturday. Little lads stay out. And I hadn't hung around with kids for ages because I've not got any kids in my family.
Aye.
And I forgot how hard it is to like keep their attention and everything. And like you've got nephews and nieces, right?
Yeah.
So you're match fit. I don't know what's your setup.
No, I've got no like younger ones in the family, right? So I'm the same. Like I really wouldn't know what to
You
do.
realise how fucking boring you are.
Yeah.
You're like trying to make a kid give a shit. It's really hard.
Aye.
You got any tips?
I smash it.
I bet you're a class uncle.
Yeah, if it's a baby, just go and just open your eyes quite wide. They'll fucking love that shit, man. I kill it all the time.
See,
That was this noise as well.
That was the one thing I remember getting told years ago, that like, see, the important thing for babies until they get, for the first, I don't know, what, 18 months or something, is just loads of facial gestures and things like that.
Like a stupid audience, you gotta go big.
Yeah, you've got to go
But
big.
they say that's good for them,
This is
to
good,
help
isn't
them learn cues. So anytime I see a wee baby, I'm always like, doing all these faces. But then I wonder, like, I always worry, I'm like, oh God, this look I'm at. Like, the parents going to turn around and be like, what the fuck is this guy auditing? But like, I suppose people just get used to folk doing that, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do, isn't it?
Getting somewhere though, because I remember the last time we hung out, we went to the park and we took a ball and we thought we'll play football with him because he likes playing football. But he was in a really bad mood, the kid, that day. So basically, his son just stood still and watched me and Chris do like keepy uppies for about 2 hours. Just literally 2 men about 30 playing football with a kid standing in the chase. There was this time he was more into it. It was good. He was giving me a big hug and everything. It was nice,
What age is he now?
like 3.
Oh,
2.
that's a
2,
good
3,
age.
something like that. Yeah.
Good age.
He's got to be Spider-Man. He was just launching up into the sky and letting it drop, and that was like hours of fun. That's all he was interested in doing.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I
And I can throw it really high. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Does it make you want any kids of your own, Stuart?
Not especially, no.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day, but I'm not in a rush.
It's good to be able to give them back at the end of that day, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah.
Big time.
I fuck that. Back to my childhood, something I was wanting to introduce to you was, I'll ask you, have you ever heard of the Paisley prank calls?
I don't think so.
No.
But there's, when you're growing up, there's a lot of like, on your phone you get sent a wee prank call thing, and it might be from that, it might not be.
Right.
Prankies, they cast a long shadow.
Aye,
Childhood.
100%. And it's, I don't know, because Stuart obviously grown up in Fife, so that's a very Glasgow
We had our own
thing.
prank calls.
You had your own prank
Yeah.
calls,
You probably had your own word for it as well.
But I thought I'd introduce you to this because I feel like that there's certain phrases for these prank calls that are just completely stuck in my head. There's quite a few of them, so maybe I'm only listening to 1 or 2 today. But they're so stuck in my head, and I kind of wanted to see if they stand up to the test of time and that as well. I'm sure there's a few bits that probably don't, but I thought I'd play them and
So
just see.
is this like the Beatles of prank calls? This is like the classics.
This is the top.
That
stuff.
to me, these were really funny. It's this guy the guy's called Rab Corbett, or at least he calls himself that in all his names. A lot of people think it's George Bowie because he sounds like a lot like George Bowie, but I know from a reliable source that it actually isn't George Bowie.
Because he done his own thing on his own radio show, didn't he?
Des McClain used to
Des
do prank
McClain
calls
done it.
on Bowie's thing, but apparently it's no Bowie, so we can know that one out. But I thought I'll just let you listen to these and see what you think. Cause, so this is the first one. I think it's maybe the first one I ever listened to. It's about he phones a boxing club basically.
Hello! Hello! Who's this? My name's Robert Corbett. I wanted to get into a bit of the boxing, you know. I'm finding myself as being a bit hard.
Hold on a minute. Thanks, Robert Corbett, isn't it?
Hello? Alright mate, I wanted to get into the boxing. I'm a wee bit hard anyway. I just want to get it straightened out. My name's Rob Corbett.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wanting to get into the boxing so I can batter a bit better. You know, straighten me out. I'm sick of using knives and that because, you know, the police just get you in. I'd rather use my fists in the cunt, you know? Slam their heads into faces. Aye, hurry up.
It wasn't turns down the music at this point, I think.
I'd have hung up already.
Hello, Rob.
Right.
You hear you now. What were you saying there?
Right, I wanted to get into a bit of the boxing, you know. I'm hard already, but I want to get harder. I can't really carry around a knife anymore because my face is known to the police.
Can you have me on here, boy?
No. So, can you train me up? So no cunt will mess.
Who am I talking to?
Rab Corbett.
Who?
Rab Corbett.
Rob Corbett.
Aye.
And it still doesn't ring a bell.
Aye, you don't know me. I just want you to train me up.
Hey,
So you up to the job?
come down tomorrow night. Am I up to the job?
Aye. Because I mean, I don't want any funny business. I know what you're like with your shiny shorts and your Vaseline and your communal showers. I don't want to be involved in any of that.
I don't know if you're a comedian or what you're.
I'll tell you what I want.
Oh, you get your body down here tomorrow night about 6:30, okay?
Right, and am I going to fight you? I think I want to.
Hey,
Am I going to fight you?
you're fucking right, you keep talking like that.
Don't mess. You don't know who I am.
No,
You don't know how hard I am. You just use your fists. I use everything. Knees, feet, head.
you
Something
get-
funny.
You get your body down here at 6 tomorrow. Rob.
I look forward to it.
You do that.
Aye. How will I know you? Corbett, how will I know you? Because I'm going straight for you.
Am I ironic or are you?
That's dead original.
Get your body down here tomorrow night, Rob.
Right, how will I know you? Have you got,
that banner as soon as you walk in, right? Oh,
do you look like a pansy or what?
Eh?
You a fairy?
No, don't give me that fucking shit.
So how will I know you? How will I know who to get?
No, just come in and ask for Rab the crab.
Rab the crab. Rab with the crabs. Do you like my joke?
Go on, busy, so you get your body down here
Aye, I
tomorrow.
look forward to it.
Okay,
Aye, see you then.
catch you later, kid.
Fucking hell.
I just noticed that.
That guy sounded so fucking hard.
Right.
Just laughing at it.
What would you be like in that situation? Would you be
If I was
shitting yourself?
yeah, you know me, I shit my pants. Drop of the hat, same as you.
Of course,
I should imagine.
of course.
Well, the story that I heard about Rab Corbett, and if you are out there, Rab, please do get in touch if anyone knows Rab
Phone us.
Corbett.
So
I
that's
wonder.
not a character now?
No, well, I assume it is his character name. Is him and another guy do a lot of them, but he's the main one. But the story I heard, and I'd be curious to hear for the listeners or people watching who heard this in school, because it's such a massive thing. I was in high school, like, we just listened to these all the time. I had them on my iPod for years and shit. And
Like your most played of the year.
I don't know if I'm saying right. Top artist Rab Corbett. And but the story I heard like a couple of years ago was that basically he phoned the wrong person in Paisley, and they found out it was him, and he had to run out of town. So like, apparently the guy doesn't even live in Scotland anymore. Because they phoned the wrong.
Because of a pranky?
Because he was pranking.
It's like a
I think
Wild
there's
West.
one of the phones. It's either a car wash or a scrapyard. He phones. I think we've got both of these up. The one of these ones he phoned, and like they obviously found out it was him, and fucking like because of the things he was saying to the guy. Like apparently, fucking the lab are going to kill you if you don't.
Fucking hell.
Fuck obviously.
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
That's
so
a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, it's like nowadays, so you don't really get that a lot now. Where
Bit of
it's
a
like,
lost art, the pranky.
Yeah, but now it's like instead of phone calls, it's like cunts just doing pranks in life.
Aye.
You see that on TikTok, and I hate those guys.
Are they all like kind of fake?
No, but they're just what they do. What they're just being wanks to people. People are just going about their business,
Yeah.
and they're being an arsehole, and you're like,
It's not a prank, is it?
it's just you being a prick, and then filming it. And then when they get battered or something like that, like, oh look, there's a guy filming it. Like, I don't care.
Have we spoke about the prank show you guys made?
no, we haven't actually.
Sitting next to two of the great fucking pranksters this year. We
I'm
should be,
here
should
talking.
be discussing that.
I'm here saying that I hate people who do pranks or cunts, and
I'm the
you
one with
are
a fucking
part of
clean
prank.
slate on pranks.
Steve, you were walking about trying to get people to think you were eating cat food for a day.
Yes, I don't know if we didn't sign an NDA, but I don't know if we're allowed to talk about
I think
it.
we like to talk about it.
I
We've
think
got,
it's safe to
we
say
do.
the project's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
We've got the footage somewhere, like,
Get
so
that.
I don't know if we could show it, that's probably
I've never
when we
seen
can
it, I'd
show
love to see it.
So basically,
How many years ago was this?
A good couple of years ago.
well, before pandemic, about a year before pandemic, 3 or 4 years ago.
This actually means that we can get on record the one of my favourite stories with Steve, where Steve, we were in the meeting prior to leading up to this
Oh, yeah.
prank show thing, we're in the meeting with this production company, right? And so for the pranks, they're trying to get an idea of who we are as people. And so they're going round all our group, asking us. So they said to me, and at the time I was like, I like a bit of football, and I'm going to the gym and MMA and politics and whatever else. And then they asked Chris, and he's into wrestling and Pokemon and things like that. I am bro. And then they get Steve, and they're like, Steve, what kind of interests have you got? And it was like, honestly, like, that episode.
We'll give the listeners just 2 seconds to have a guess.
Yes.
At home.
It was like that episode of Always Sunny when like they try and put up Charlie's dating profile and like, what's your hobbies? He's like, magnets. Like, and so Steve, like, he asked him what he's into, and Steve, what did you say was your interest?
Greek mythology.
Why the fuck did you say that?
Because I like Disney's Hercules.
Yeah, that's well documented.
I love Disney's Hercules.
And you think that qualifies as Greek mythology?
After watching Disney's Hercules, I've went on Wikipedia, read up on other Greek mythology things, and I'm interested in it. But
Hercules was your gateway drug into Greek mythology.
And obviously,
I'm scanning one Wikipedia page of a Greek mythology 4 years ago.
Yeah. I've never read books, I've never studied it, but I just quite like it. So I thought they
so
were asking us...
anything in the world that you have an interest in, you say Greek mythology based on watching one film and doing a quick scan of Wikipedia. There's nothing that you're more interested in
That's
your
his
entire
top
life.
thing, family fortunes, number one.
Greek mythology. However, I thought...
We could not believe that you
What I
that,
thought
like.
they wanted to know was what we would be interested in doing a thing about and finding more.
You're just trying to get a fucking travel show in Greece.
Aye! I thought the show was going to be me finding out more about Greek mythology. Do a wee prank about
You're walking around the Parthenon, so
pranking Zeus and Hades.
All time, absolute.
Oh, do you remember the other thing that I said that I was interested in?
I don't, but go on.
Ostriches.
What?
Ostrich.
Why?
That is honestly, again, like Charlie and Always Sunny, fucking milk steak and fucking magnets. Ostriches in Greek mythology is the two things. I think I've ever heard you say the phrase ostriches other than that day.
Because you had a few jars before this meeting.
Nah, someone had tweeted about ostriches on Twitter, and
that was enough to get.
Ever since I was a little boy, I have had a fascination for ostriches. Since a little boy, well, ever since today when I've seen some cunt tweet about it.
One of the last things I read.
and it was interesting, so it was just in my head, and I panicked, and I didn't want to fucking say football, like you or.
You're not even into the football that much either.
Aye, I don't really have interest. My interest is comedy, and I do that. So I can't just say, I like doing the job that I have already.
But the thing is, about what?
What?
Comedy about what?
Ostriches.
About ostriches and...
You've seen his set.
Yeah.
Old El Paso fight,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
metaphor for Greek mythology.
That's probably an El Paso in Greece. Who knows?
Anyway, so sorry, go back to the prank show. So basically I was in a meeting with them. We ended up doing a sort of prank.
So from all of our interests, they landed on pranks, is what happened.
Yes. Well, I think it was for a prank show already.
No, because we were maybe going to do a sketch show as well. There was different...
They needed a budget for that, so that went out the window.
So I kind of took a wee bit of what each person was interested in and done a prank of it. So you were the gym.
I had to go to Botanic Gardens wearing a suit and do a workout. So I had to work out in a suit and run Botanic Gardens and Byres Road.
And they filmed people's reactions.
So the prank is just you looking like a prick.
Yeah, just me looking like a...
Well, that's what all the pranks were, us looking like pricks.
Is that a prank? I'm not sure that qualifies.
It turned out that the commissioners thought, no.
But I think we kind of all agreed that we didn't like prank shows where it was you're making an arse out of someone.
Yeah,
so you know how like
I know who
big hair, Eric Andre.
Eric Andre.
Oh, yeah.
So like he kind of goes up to people and he's like looking through a
He's
thing,
the
and
fool,
then he's the fool. He's got like a cyclops eye, and you see people going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
You know, that sort of stuff. So we wanted to kind of replicate that a wee bit. So you were looking like an arsehole doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What I had to do was pretend to eat cat food in public. and see what people's reaction was. So I had a wee cat holder, fake cat in it, and I was going, "Can you hold my cat so I can have my lunch?" And people were like, "Alright," and then I would open cat food and spoon it into my mouth and just talk to them and be like, "What are you up to? Have you got the time? Lunchtime?" And then eat some food, cat food.
What actually was the food you were eating?
Soup. Cold soup,
That
which
doesn't
is
sound
it's not appetising either.
No.
Is there a final cut of this show that exists that I can watch?
It's a 10-minute teaser.
There's a 10-minute teaser, aye. Because the other ones we done, I don't know if this one even did. The other one I was involved in was basically Rachel and Roscoe pretended to be yoga instructors, and they put on a yoga class with real people and stuff. And then basically just everything was going wrong. So Rachel Roscoe had a thing where it was like, he had a position called downward dog. Is it a downward frog or whatever?
No,
it's the opposite,
opposite.
sorry. It's a downward frog and whatever. He's just making up all this mad shit. At one
And he was
point,
doing a weird Australian accent
he's
as well.
pretending he's Australian.
Roscoe's a mad fucker anyway, so you would
Yeah.
buy it from him.
Yeah.
100%. And then I came in at one point, there was like a wee bathroom in the corner, and I came in pretending to be the plumber, and like I just basically was drilling for ages, like just making tons of noise like during the class, and just getting them like kind of laugh and stuff like that. But basically, so we done that, and then there was one that you two done, you and Chris and me. I was there as a kind of go between, and it was like a fake sort of focus group.
Yeah.
For
fake products.
fake products and stuff like that. So basically it was like a fake focus group for these kind of fake products and stuff. So you and Chris had to be kind of the wee marketing guys, but he's done the fucking accents, didn't you?
These ridiculous
Did you?
accents.
No one would buy that instantly that you sounded like that.
Basically, the kind of the
I
accents that we
didn't
do
know.
for
Yeah.
What's the Script.
Right, okay.
So we were going, Margading.
Okay guys, listen up.
Okay, guys, we've got some new products for you. And people are like, well, who are these
No
guys?
one- no one
The two
in-
biggest wankers in Glasgow.
No one in the world talks like this.
That should have been the prank. Two guys that speak weird.
Yeah.
And see what people react like.
But there was one in particular I remember, because we were just talking about this thing, seat trousers all the time, and I hadn't even really seen what you were talking about. And it was only when he's got up the post, he's put it up on the thing, and you showed the people, and it was basically just trousers that had these wee sort of legs that you could sort of
Chair legs.
use as a chair to sit on, like if you're waiting in the bus, and I fucking nearly busted laughing.
Now that's an actual product.
Is it really?
I've seen it recently. I've seen someone put that out.
That's
If you
the
want to
legacy of
sponsor
that
us,
prank
get in
show.
touch. You want to sponsor the podcast, please get in touch.
It's sponsored by.
Old El Paso and chair legs.
Yeah, I take it they've got a different name than seat trousers.
I think so. I
Seat
think.
pants, American
Bro,
version.
oh, by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, that's
That
something.
That's good.
That would be a good name. We
Now
should.
that's good.
We're workshopping this idea 4 years after the fact.
He's quite pleased it never got made.
100%.
Very pleased.
It did seem like all of you didn't want to make a prank show.
None of us wanted to do it. We wanted a sketch show,
Yeah,
and it landed on prank show.
and even when we never get the sketch show, I was quite relieved about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I mean, it's an experience, but I'm glad that it never happened because it was basically they were saying it was boiling down to us and another show, and none of the shows got
I
picked.
don't think it ever got made, so I know just a complete waste of everybody's time, basically.
Yeah, and we're editing a taster tape tomorrow together, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, another complete waste of everyone's time.
That's right. That's
Just
right.
keep going down this road.
It's been a waste of time. You want to hear another Rab Corbett here?
More than anything.
Okay.
Right, here we go. I think this is one called Jaffa.
Where's it got that photo?
This is, you can tell that these videos
So
are like
early
so
internet.
aye, so
Yeah.
early internet. It's like for fucking 2006 or something. Here we go.
What was?
Aye, so, who's this?
Jaffa?
Right, Jaffa, what are you doing phoning me?
What?
What are you doing phoning me?
Phoning who?
Phoning me, you phoned me, I did 14713 and I get you? Jaffa.
Phoning?
What the fuck do you want?
Phoning who?
What the fuck are you phoning me for this time? I'm in my bed. You phoned me, I did the redial, 1471.
Phone somebody. Aye. Who are you?
Look, you fucking arse bandit, don't arse me around here. I'm in night shift, I'm meant to be sleeping.
Look, I'm not any arse bandit, right? This is a company, mate.
So what the fuck are you doing phoning me? You cold calling, you trying to sell me
All the
something?
time, you tell me who you are?
No, you should know, you phoned me.
I never used the phone.
Don't give me any of your fucking lip here. Don't give me any of your fucking lip.
Who are you?
You should know you phoned me. I'm not telling you.
I'm not telling you again, right? I never phoned you at this.
Well, fucking find out who did. On you go. Hurry up.
Right,
Sorry, 'cause he's
of the
spoken
30
up,
taxi
spoken.
drivers
Yeah.
on the day getting their cars washed, 5 or 6 of them used the public phone. What can I tell you?
So you're letting them do funny phone calls from your phone?
Funny phone calls.
It must be.
Did they heavy breathing you?
No, I went to the phone and it hung up as soon as I answered. I said hello. I heard somebody.
Even I found out who you are.
Aye. You do
I'm
what?
pressing charges against you for your cheek.
Pressing charges? Give me your fucking cheek, you wanker. I'll have you. Where are you? I'm coming down there right now. Where are you?
What?
Where are you? Put your boss on.
Oh,
I'm not talking to no wacky.
I'm the owner of the company. You've moved.
The owner? Your voice is hardly broken, you wee Ned.
You've made the mistake of moving with a fucking boss, alright?
You're no
Don't
boss.
come the fucking
yeah,
whistle with me.
Look at a boss like you.
With you.
You think you're a boss? I'll come down there and boss you, pal. Boss your face into a wall. I'm on the fucking phone, what do you think I am?
I didn't even told you who it might have been that phoned you.
No. You're just trying to find out who I am. I'm not giving you no more information. You wank fuck.
You know John Howard?
Aye, well.
Right, there you go then.
Well, fucking put him on, you prick.
Yeah.
He just phoned me.
He phoned the last week. Bob, he's not here.
He's not got a bird.
What?
He's married.
John Howard.
Aye.
He's got a bub.
Aye.
Right. He came down here.
So go get him. Oh, look, shut up. I'm not talking to you anymore. Go fucking get him. Move it.
It goes from nothing to out of order in about 2 seconds. There's almost no chat.
Who's this? Oh,
Wank fuck.
that was so many of those phrases we used to say at the time school. You wank fuck. Where are you? I'm coming down there right now. Oh,
Push your
man.
face into a wall.
You think you're no boss? I'll boss you, pal. Boss your face into a wall. That is the thing, Stu. You hit on though. It's like the thing that makes him so funny is he's so well spoken. And he just says this man to order shit.
I wonder how much of that is like a character if he's actually like putting
That's
that
what he
voice
sounds,
on.
Yeah, maybe he is actually. I don't know, but that's why because everyone says it sounds like George Bowie just because it's basically a well-spoken guy
Yeah,
from Glasgow.
Yeah.
But
Should get him on via video link from Mexico, wherever he's hiding out.
Has ever done any prankies?
Yeah, I was always a bit feared though. I was always
Yeah.
I was on the periphery of the prankies.
Yeah.
Getting pulled in when I didn't want to,
Aye.
because I was,
Because what was is it the operator or something? Was it like you dial
Aye.
100 or 101 or something?
Mm.
And it was like the operator, we'd always prank at them and they would always be like, we can phone the police on you, and they knew it was just wee guys,
Aye.
and we'd go, oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, like, what was it, 141 to hide your number and stuff?
Aye. Did you ever do any, Steve?
Just like
Just
those
them?
operator ones. One time I done one, we're just typing in random numbers, and we didn't even have a plan for it. So one
Just sheer
answered,
improv.
and it was sheer improv off the dome. It was like, "Hi, is James there?" And they were like, "No," and I was like, "Okay," and then just had nothing, just went nowhere. And they were like, "Do you want to leave your name and we can get back to you or something?" Like, I think the woman knew it was a
Got
prank.
you.
Aye.
Yeah, and we were like, "No, bye." And that was it.
See, fair play to Rio Ferdinand, it's harder than it looks.
It's a
Absolutely.
lot harder than it looks. That's
It's-
why our prank show.
Ours was just always ordering kids munchie boxes for the chippy to different people's
Aye,
houses.
we done it before, and then you'd watch it across the road as he
Yeah.
goes and chaps the door,
Yeah.
and like, just chap louder, mate, and all that, and it'd keep going.
What did you so would they get their free meal?
I don't know.
What would
Maybe
they do with all that
maybe it's the
food?
yeah. It's just it's good for everyone. Everyone wins.
Yeah,
Apart from the chippy.
apart from the chipper. Yeah, you're
Fuck the
putting a
chippy.
local business out of
Mhm.
business.
Yeah. But it is a bit of a lost art, like you're saying. It's like, I think because like back in the day, like see before the internet was so prevalent, like phoning people was still the main way that you would contact and find things out and all this kind of stuff. So like that, then it was just funnier, I think, whereas now like you could probably Google the person while you're on the phone to
Yeah.
them or whatever, like
It's gone with a landline, really, isn't it?
a wee bit.
Mm.
Another thing that's kind of lost out that also we used to have in our iPods and stuff growing up, Stevie, was like the disses
Oh
you'd
yeah.
get
Yeah.
in school and all
Was
that
that a
sort of
thing
stuff.
in Fife, Stu?
Yeah, like DJ Rankin, DJ Bad Boy, all that kind of
Aye,
stuff.
we'd get like local
And then,
gangs
yeah,
would
like
do
local ones.
disses against each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think everyone had those shite sort of DJ tunes, but
Back
did
in
you
the-
have actual like people slagging people in the songs?
Yeah, the only line I remember, I can't remember if it was one of those two I just mentioned or like a local thing, but I just remember a diss track about somebody called Annabelle. I don't know if it's like a famous one or a local one, I can't remember, but the lyric was, "Oh Shahur, what's that smell? Oh yeah, fuck, it's Annabelle." That's the only bit I remember.
It's good, man. Some of these bands were like good.
Decent
They were
bars,
really good,
decent bars.
really talented, man.
Yeah,
Back in the Bluetooth Sony Ericsson
they have
days.
to produce their own stuff. I say producers.
Yeah,
Just
bedroom
get something off
DJs.
a LimeWire and then rhyme over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had quite a
You
few.
used to, did you not, what were you calling it? You called like DJ Cash or something like that? Or-
Yeah.
this is your PC DJ name.
So that was my first ever one. I went through a few. I rebranded a few times. So my first ever one was
The artist formerly known as DJ
because
Cash.
the reason why I wanted to do it, that I've spoke to you about, I think on Patreon or something. I wanted to find out if I was genuinely a talented
Oh, yeah,
DJ.
this is actually a tragic tale.
We like J.K. Rowling releasing a book under her other names,
Yeah.
so people didn't know.
Robert, DJ Robot Galbraith.
So I went for
It's all
DJ.
turf shit, his DJ.
I went for DJ Cash. That was my. My
Run me
name.
through the title again, because it's something to do with your name, right?
Buchanan, and then Buck, and then Cash.
Yeah.
It's Buck. So
That's how you got to DJ Cash.
yeah, Buchanan, Buck, Cash.
Sure.
Buchanan. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to find out, and I obviously had no talent, but I was like, my mates will probably just say that it's good. I want to find out that if it's genuinely good. So and
This
what
is
it,
such a self-own, by the way.
what it was.
I mean, I know that I'm the #1 DJ in all the world, you know,
But
like
I
Kevin and
I
Perry.
need to hear it with my own ears and for it to be genuine. So I was like, I found this guy called DJ Cash on LimeWire. You heard him? He's class. I'll play you his song, and I played it. And what it was Zombie Nation.
They're instantly like doing that wee scroll to see how long's left in the fucking tune.
This was before the days of scroll, so it's just you play it on your phone and then
Aye.
and that's it. And what I thought a song was just mixing two songs together, and not an a cappella and an instrumental. Two songs getting completely merged.
There was your.
I
number one
played the
mistake.
Zombie Nation with So Fresh and So Clean by Outkast.
How did they mix?
Horribly.
They don't feel like they'd mix.
No, didn't.
Nah.
Wrong tempo. Wasn't
You were
like.
treating music like when you would first put Iron Brew and Coke in the one glass.
Yeah.
That's what it would taste like.
An absolute
avant-garde.
abomination. Yeah, it was very avant-garde. That was like the Yoko Ono of my school. I fucking put these two things together. Sounded terrible. Put some like wee sound effects like, meow, 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 you know, like this
Yeah,
horn.
They're always cool.
The horn sound effect. Done like a wee zoo 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 zoo, like you know the record slowing down
Yeah.
type of thing. Done a few of those.
This is like what Timbaland would do if he had you.
There was a lot of
DJ Cash.
There was a lot of tropes that would always get used by these PC DJs. It was like you'd always get these wee noises like, oh yeah, and like
Aye,
the
doing that.
the Superman a cappella
Well, that's
was
so
one.
that was after that. So that's when I found out about acapellas. So that this current one was my first ever
Uh-huh.
endeavour into music,
Right.
and I played it for one of my mates
On the
my phone.
Wikipedia page, this is early work.
Played it for
Fucking
one of my mates.
David Bowie, we've got him.
Yeah, and he was like, "That's terrible. That's shite." And I was like, "No, it's fucking noise. I like it." Because I completely went against what I thought would have happened. I thought it would have went, "That's a
I think
brilliant."
this is class.
Did
Yeah.
you not listen back
I'll
to
reveal
it?
this was me.
Yeah,
You
and they'll
believe
be
it?
mind blown.
Yeah.
Did you not listen back to it?
I thought it was good. Actually,
Can we play it now?
well, I don't have it, but I tried to recreate it for the Patreon, so I can play that version
Yeah.
of it.
Community guidelines strike for 2 separate songs.
Copyrighted for both. No, and it was terrible, and it wasn't the way that I planned it. So then I found out that you could get acapellas and stuff, which you were saying Superman, you know, like there was other ones that you could mix in, and I
It was
didn't know how to.
like the kind of a lot of Dr. Dre ones and that sort of stuff,
Aye.
like smoke weed every day, you know that you'd always hear that in the dance songs and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So I used a lot of them, but I didn't know how to match the tempos. So again, it just sounded bad.
Yeah.
And in those days I was going under DJ Steve fucking B.
How did you arrive at that name exactly?
What's the etymology of that one?
So Steve was like a shortened version of Stephen,
Oh, yeah.
and B was like for Buchanan, shortened version of that.
Fucking
just
is what you,
emphasis.
And
fucking is what you weren't doing.
And DJ for disc jockey.
Thanks for clarifying that.
And yeah, that was my career. I tried to get on one of the websites. You know, it was like Hogan One or like.
Yeah, I
Fagan,
remember those. Yeah,
And then they
yeah.
had like websites for tunes that you could download tunes. Did you have that?
Yeah.
I don't remember them, to be honest.
There were these different websites, and I applied to put my song on, and they went, "We'll get you on next time if it's not shite." And I was like, "That's good constructive criticism, you know."
Didn't you make a diss about someone?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say who it was, but me and my mates made a diss about a guy who was an arsehole, so he deserved it. This wasn't like a guy.
He's a bully.
He was a bully, so we made a diss slagging him. And then we realised that he could batter us all, so we were like, we're not going to send this to anyone, so just sent it around our friend group, like 3 or 4 of us, had it in our phones, and I hoped that he would never find out about it. Then he did find out about it.
Of course he did.
And actually, he was more hurt emotionally than, like, he wasn't physical towards us,
Really?
he was like, he seemed genuinely hurt, like, oh, that's a bit shite. And
What kind of stuff are you slagging him for?
well, that would involve
You
saying the name,
You
but
don't want to get too
there was
specific.
a lot of cliches and tropes used in these songs, so it was like, I'm going to batter you with a baseball bat was always a line. No one owned a baseball bat, but that was always a line, so it was like, I'll say his name is George, right, so I'm
Sure.
not saying the guy's name, but it'll be like, Georgia, so it'd be like, Georgia Tramp, you look like a cat, I'll batter you with a baseball bat.
Nice.
Stuff like that. Georgia Tramp nicking my pegs, I'm gonna break your fucking legs. That type of
Was he always a tramp?
It's mainly about tramp. He wasn't even a tramp, that's the thing. that was things that you heard in these songs and you thought, that must be what you say, and then you just pass that off as your own patter.
I always remember when it was like a diss for one young team, and I always remember this like, a big party was talking about how a guy get grounded. You're still grounded, you fucking dick. I was like, la 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 la, my heart goes la la la. Like, you're fucking grounded, mate.
State of you for being
I
grounded.
know. I see talking about like not being able to, or hoping that the person doesn't hear it. So when we were in school, 2 of my mates as well, and the one that comes in young teams and they were just probably like similar to yourself, just like would make, one was like a kind of DJ for a while, and the other one just like, they obviously got a mic at one point, and they made this diss about one of our teachers in the school. And I won't say his name either, right, but he was a bit, the guy got a bit slagged anyway. He had like a kind of big like mole on his face, right, and everyone used to slag that, and so he done this whole big diss, and like just thought, he was, like just, he was a bit of a pure man, geeky, weird guy anyway, so they kind of like, they just like done
This is arguably worse than the
Yeah, because I was
You're
doing
trying
it
to
to
defend
someone.
the guy.
I was doing it to someone who was bullying us. You know,
This guy
this
did
guy
not-
has a mole.
This guy did not deserve it, and he's like, and at one point they just kept going mole. I think it was after the Austin Powers thing or something like that. I don't know. That certainly wouldn't have helped that guy at all. And then they were just done all that
Trying
stuff.
to teach kids.
I know, but one point, and I was in the class when like he took us like as a substitute teacher for art. One day he was a science teacher, and he took us for
You've
art
never got
one day.
less command over a room than being a substitute art teacher.
And like my mate
What
Barry,
chance
like
you got?
put his iPod on and he put that song on it. And they all heard it. So basically, obviously the teachers and that found out that they'd made this song, and like they were going to get like suspended or maybe expelled or something. But like 2 guys like just normal like guys, like one of them was like pure in like kind of top classes, not like they weren't pure bams that normally get chucked out of school for any reason normally. So they kind of ended up doing this. They came to this like negotiation, right, where basically they weren't getting suspended or whatever, but the punishment basically was, among other things, the main one was they weren't allowed to leave the school grounds at lunchtime, so they just had to stay in the school cafeteria, and they couldn't go to like the chippy van or run to like McGee's or whatever.
Like house arrest.
Who's grounded now?
The thing is, right, imagine you were a teacher in that school, right, and you found out that one of the teachers who you might think is a bit of a fan anyway, some of the wee guys in school have made a fucking diss. There's no way you would want to hear that.
I know.
Half of them are fucking loving it.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they probably just get let off it because some of it was quite funny.
Bunch of my mates got sussed for doing a choreographed dance routine about taking the piss out of like.
This is really the difference between going to Glasgow and.
It was like a piss take of like what was it? It was like one of their girlfriend's dads or something like that. It was like.
Oh, eh?
And it's just like a really fucking obviously stupid thing that they were like doing for a laugh, but the head teacher took it like so seriously, and he was like this really like hard, like he looked like Robert De Niro, the fucking our heyday at the time, and he was taking it so seriously, and my mates for a laugh they called themselves the KY dance crew, right? They were not a dance crew at all, obviously. KY is just like a postcode,
Right.
and I just remember the classic line from going, "If I ever hear about the KY dance crew again, there'll be hell to pay." It's like a bunch of guys fucking around doing a stupid dance.
That's hilarious, man.
Why was it a dance? Was the guy a dancer?
No, I don't know. It's not like anyone ever danced. It was just like an obvious piss take.
Right.
Like, I can't remember why I wasn't there that night.
I just don't know how,
Thank God.
Thank
fucking
see, when you look back, right, you don't know how these teachers could take all this stuff so seriously. Like, imagine saying that phrase with a straight
I know,
face,
it's fucking
you know what I mean?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and it was always stuff like, it was always the most trivial, wee, silly things ever. Somebody kicking a ball at a shutter or something, and it's like everybody gets lined up like they're about to get executed.
So serious. Yeah.
Aye, and you're just like, why? How could they really give that much of a fuck?
Yeah.
I think actually being around kids for that long and working with them, I think it must just make you fucking mental. I actually do.
Well,
Like,
you
when I
see
think
half
back,
the teachers
most of my fucking teachers in school were totally unhinged.
Aye,
Yeah.
100%. I wonder how much of it is because of the kids. I wonder if they were normal back once upon a time.
Yeah, because I remember thinking, like, even when I was like 13, you'd see like a really out of line harsh teacher, like, were you always like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Or
surely out of
have you
teacher
been
school,
ground
yeah,
down?
you've been completely fucked through the years of.
There was one teacher we had who was a techie teacher, and he would always like he'd take joy in like petrifying people, and he would like be walking through the corridors and like he'd be like almost scaring folk and that.
Squaring up.
And he'd always be one of those guys when he was reading out the register, he'd always make everybody go, "Yeah, here, sir." He'd always, and if he didn't say sorry, he'd be like, "Sorry, what?" And like proper like that.
Because
And
the
then-
fucking army.
Yeah, exactly. He was like an army sergeant sort of guy. And then one day, it was when I was in first year, all these boys for the Trafalgar and came up to fight with some other guys for an R partner, quite bang, and they all ran away, and then so some of the guys just started fighting with the teachers, and we seen the heated. We were all outside the school gates. It was the end of school. We seen our head teacher get fly kicked in the face.
Fucking hell.
In front of the whole school. It was insane. But the guy who's the proper hard nut teacher, everybody just seen him like hiding behind a glass door, like pure shite themselves, man.
Oh,
And he
really?
just
The
really?
totally lost all
That's
credibility after
fine.
that.
Also,
Instead of
that,
that, you go to jail. Really.
exactly. What are you going to do? Batter a wedding and then smash fuck.
But he tried, man. I mean, he failed, but he did give it a go. It's like as if he's like fucking fighting for his territory. He's like, "I'm going down with my ship here."
We had a teacher who lost a rag one time and chased a pupil around the class with a pole. Well, you know that one of the poles to pull down the windows,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a wooden
Yeah.
stick. Chased her
A
around.
birch, I believe that's called.
Is it?
Yes, because I had
just
a
think
teacher who used one and would always refer to it as the birch.
Yeah.
I just thought it was one of those things that in Sports Direct when you need to get a Fenerbahce third kit up from the.
Yeah, one of those. Chased
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy about.
Yeah, I had a
Fucking-
teacher that got suspended for throwing a chair at a pupil.
Really?
But I mean, man, they must get driven to do this stuff by
Yeah.
some of the wee pricks.
Aye, definitely. The guy that based the voice of Roger Egbert.
Like we're going through Steve's career today. It's like we're on Parky.
Fucking inside
tell
the
us,
actor
where's-
studio here.
Roger Egbert, I mean, do you draw from your own life?
Yes.
And could we speak to Roger now?
Alright, boys. If you don't listen to me and Stu's podcast, What's the Script? They do a character called Roger Egg, but he speaks like that.
It's worth listening to just for Roger alone, I think.
But he speaks like this. This was based on my old business management teacher, and he was bullied so much by all of the kids. Like, people found out that he was scared of pigeons, and
You just can't be letting kids.
you can't let kids know that you're scared of pigeons.
Really, that should be a good thing for Roger Ebert to fucking
Yeah.
be scared as well.
He would be scared of pigeons. But then I don't know how much of this is just myths that have passed down and like stories that might not be true but people tell you, but
Yeah.
everyone believes that this happened, that a pigeon got into the classroom one time.
So like that Staff Lets Flats episode.
Aye, pretty much. But like he the kids locked him in the class with the pigeon and wouldn't let him out.
Oh my God.
And
Kids have always got
he
the
was like banging on the door to get let out and stuff. And I don't know how much of it is true, but
Is it some fucking horror film or something?
his eyeballs pecked out by this pigeon.
Probably Matilda or some shit, man. Fuck's sake, Demon Headmaster. Right, well, that about covers it for this week's episode of the Some Laugh Podcast. Thanks very much for tuning in, as always, guys. And remember to give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, where you can also leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. And obviously do like and subscribe on YouTube, as ever. And you can follow us at Some Laugh Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
Yep.
And where are we going to be in August, guys?
Monkey Barrow Comedy Club.
All three of us.
Yes, I'm doing 10 days, 5th to the 14th, something like that.
And me and Stuart have been big boys and doing the entire month from the 3rd till the 18th, I believe.
I'm doing from the first.
I'll
till
be-
the 28th.
Jesus, well.
I'll see
Till the
what-
15th.
When did I say the 15th? I know, I'm doing the 3rd till the 28th.
Yeah.
We'll see what you're saying when it comes to like the 22nd and you're hating your life.
Oh, I won't be in a
knackered.
good mood at all. No.
No.
You'll come in all
I've
fully.
got my feet up in my couch.
Yeah.
It's not about us, it's about the people that come to see the
Exactly.
show. And we care about you. And if you'd like to come and be one of those people, tickets are on sale now, links in the description.
Yeah, Just come in one
Buy
of the 10
tickets.
days.
For me, Mark first, and then Steve, because he's giving you less,
Absolutely.
so you should give him
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
good work in progress.
So yeah, guys, thanks very much for tuning in, and we will speak to you soon.
See you later.